All right, so the first spring game we got to talk about, of course, the Florida Gators, who concluded spring on a Thursday night down there in Gainesville after moving the spring game from a Saturday to a Thursday. That's been well documented, and it turned out to be a heck of a decision by Billy Napier and company. If you missed it, the announced attendance, 35,000, and it was a strong crowd there in the swamp to see the action between the orange and the blue. And all eyes on Anthony Richardson. How would he look, entering the spring, not even at 100%. He certainly looked like it here in the spring game, and far and away, in my eyes, and I think just about anybody that watched the spring game, there's a huge, huge step between Jack Miller, who showcased his skill in this game, the Ohio State transfer who's got, I believe, 4 years of eligibility remaining down there in Gainesville. But it's a huge step going from Jack Miller to Anthony Richardson. The first 3 drives Anthony Richardson had in the spring game, the offense scored a touchdown. He did not have a drive that stalled until the second half of the game, and they responded the following drive with another touchdown. So Anthony Richardson showcasing just his rocket arm, great precision, engineering touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. He threw one in, he ran one in, engineered 2 other drives that resulted in rushing touchdowns for the Gators. And, there's no need to wait anymore. I mean, there was no doubt really entering the spring, and certainly you got to believe, based on what we saw Thursday night in Gainesville, Anthony Richardson is your man down there in Gainesville. And if he plays up to his potential, certainly, I've thrown it out there, was last year a fluke when we saw him? It didn't look like it there on Thursday night in the spring game. So if he can live up to that massive potential, Florida, certainly one of the biggest wild cards in the SEC. And, while the expectations from the fans are off the charts, and, everything we put out this offseason, fans eat it up. You certainly saw that energy, that enthusiasm from the spring game. Over-under win total of 7. That's something been well documented. I go under on. I'm still kind of leaning that way with just the uncertainty surrounding the roster, but it would not be a surprise if, this team rallies behind Anthony Richardson. They've got some good running backs. It looks like the defense is going to take a significant step up this season in Gainesville. Would not be surprised at all if Florida makes a huge jump this season. And again, I continue to say 2 through 4, maybe even 5 if Missouri takes a step up. You could put those teams in any order, and I wouldn't argue with you. And that includes the Florida Gators coming right out the gate, being number 2 in the SEC East this season under Billy Napier, which would set up just one hell of a showdown for years to come between them Dogs and them Gators there in the SEC East. But, going back to Jack Miller, looked a lot of inaccurate balls, a lot of passes got away from him. It was his second drive of the game, threw into triple coverage, got intercepted in the red zone. Just cannot have that. But, he's such a young player. Like I said, multiple years of eligibility remaining. But it was great to see the fact that Anthony Richardson didn't have those mistakes, because this is his first year in the system too. And, again, Miller's got potential, but no discussion of him being involved in the starting quarterback battle, I would not think, after what we saw there on Thursday. Anthony Richardson, 13 of 15 for 167 yards, 2 passing touchdowns in the first half, compared to Jack Miller, 10 of 18, 104 yards with 1 interception, no touchdowns there. Now, a big thing we're looking for from the Florida Gators this offseason, who will step up at the receiver position. They got a couple guys they can count on, but they really need to see some players that have yet to emerge take a step up in production, because you cannot rely on 3 to 4 receivers in a season. You're going to need depth at some point. And Jaquavion Frazier's number 0, he looked the part. He's got the potential as someone who could help the Gators this season. I thought he had the build of a quality SEC player, showcased some big grabs in that game. And Jamarcus Weston, number 82, he was the one that caught out of the slot Anthony Richardson's first touchdown pass of the spring game, made a nice little play, broke a would-be tackle attempt by Kamar Wilcoxon, a formerly touted recruit there in Gainesville. So Weston, Frazier's, you got you two potential guys, I think, that could help the Florida Gators this season. That also caught my eye. We wanted to see these running backs in action. Unfortunately, saw a couple drops. So the football here, that's going to keep Billy Napier up at night. I saw Bowman fumble the ball. I saw Monchell Johnson fumble the ball. Johnson, I believe, recovered the fumble he had, whereas Bowman, he had a drop that resulted in a turnover. But let's credit Tyreek Sapp because he was the one that blew it up, just came flying off the line of scrimmage. And I didn't think Bowman had any chance on the play, but you got to hold on to the football there. That was right out the gate. That led to another Gator touchdown thanks to Anthony Richardson on a really impressive run there early in the second half of the spring game. And, you got to keep an eye on special teams in a game like this. Number 71, Chris Howard, missed a chip shot field goal. You hate to see that. And then on the flip side, on the good side here for the Gators, freshman kicker Adam Mihalik nailed a 52-yarder. That's a spring game record for the Florida program. So certainly you got one guy missing chip shots, one guy breaking records. I think that's all you need to know about where that competition is with the kickers. And right after the spring game, the next day, the Gators moving the thing to Thursday, had their spring showcase there on a Thursday night. It paid off because they landed a commitment from receiver Tyree Patterson, 3-star receiver. But Billy Napier, that's something that he has coached for years at Clemson, Alabama, and Arizona State, the receiver position. So got to trust his eye for talent. Tyree Patterson, a nice pickup there for the Florida Gators, who currently sit with just 2 commitments in the cycle with plenty of time to go. So, just main takeaways from there. Anthony Richardson looked the part. That's exactly what you want to see coming out of spring football because he's going to have to carry you on offense. The running game and Anthony Richardson, that's going to be your hopes on the offensive side of the ball. Billy Napier is going to be obviously calling the plays. That's his bread and butter down there. And he's got himself a nice centerpiece, an all-SEC freshman returning quarterback to build around. And, hey, I'm leaving out of this thing encouraged, and so was Billy Napier after the spring game. Audio's a little rough. I tried to clean it up, so hopefully you can hear this. But Billy Napier, very high on his sophomore quarterback, Anthony Richardson, after the conclusion of the spring game.
But Anthony, how do you think he came out? He looked comfortable from the start, and do you think he functioned well, like in the offense that you asked him about?
I think Anthony's a production of a lot of hard work, and I can't say it enough. His approach has been first class, right? I think when I think about a quarterback, right, we think about a person who represents everything the organization is about, right? Certainly at the highest level of football, the quarterback is the face of the organization. They set the greatest example. Their work ethic, their attention to detail, their self-discipline, their approach. So he's a product of his work. He's learned a new system. Standing behind him out there, it wasn't too big for him. He communicated well, and the ball went where it was supposed to go. He was accurate, and the players around him played well, right? The pocket was clean. The guys made play on the ball, and it's a good day. And I think to win, you need good quarterback play, right? You need good quarterback efficiency, and certainly he played well.